Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro and I are getting it started here. That's weird. It says live chat unavailable. Oh, it's marked private. God damn it. Oh man, I don't know why it was different today. Why would it be different? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, getting it started a little slow today. All those links that came on, posted it all over the internet. It says private. I don't know why LinkedIn would change, or why YouTube would change it. Anyway, we're live. We've been live on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Kick, all the usual places, except the good old-fashioned YouTube here. Anyway, let's get a little background music going. People are just starting to come on here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Getting a little slow start here today. Been a tough week tech-wise. This time I didn't screw anything up. Not at all. For some reason, YouTube switched me to private instead of public. Don't know why. Let's check the Telegram messages that I left out here. Maybe I got some messages saying, hey, something's amiss. All right. I'll hold down the fort for you as we get started here. I've got all these things saying, "Hey, it's private. It's private." Oh, good job, Thomas. Well, good job, YouTube. Anyway, for those of you joining us a little bit after the start here, because you're the only one that got past the private message, YouTube is being a little crazy today. One of the things I had to do was to post everything in Telegram manually because the YouTube link wasn't working to bring up the link to YouTube automatically. So I had to post pictures manually, and then they set my thing on private, even though monetization is on and ad scheduler is on. And usually you can't have private and have monetization on. Very strange. It's a very strange day indeed here. Anyway, the topic of today's show, hopefully many of you guys come in here and let me make sure that DVR is enabled. Yep, it is. Hopefully most people come in here and watch the show and start from the beginning. Anyway, I'll give it the old-fashioned start. Good morning, everybody. It is May 9th, 2024. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media universe of crypto mega awesome stuff. Yeah, that's my superlative of today. Crypto Mike, welcome to the show. Daryl, welcome to the show. Like I said, and now my comment machine isn't working. Oh, it's just another. YouTube, what are you doing to me today? What are you doing to me? We'll have to bring it up in the old manuals ways. Let's try this again. Pop out, chat. There we go. All right. Crypto Mike, what's up? What's up in the house for Crypto Mike? Let's give him the old Canada. Dara, still don't have a thing for you. Pedro's in the house today. He's just got to take care of something here first. Troublesome Creek says, great show yesterday. Hey, what about today? What about today? Anyway, today's Jason, welcome to the house. Welcome. Jason, if you could, in your usual places where I post, let everyone know that the private YouTube has been unprivatized. Tom says, I thought you guys were doing a private show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Private cam shows today only. See if I get the comment machine working. Oh, there we go. Comment machine's finally working. Tom Oliver has Boris Johnson as his icon. Jason, looks like another awesome show. It's going to be a quick one today. Mrs. Striking and I are heading out to Vancouver. I haven't been to Vancouver in 1998. And so we have to get a bunch of stuff done this afternoon in order to, as they say, leave tomorrow. We're going to head to Toronto, and then we're flying out of Toronto. Thank you, Jason. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Let me post here as normal. What's up, everyone? Please like, follow, share, comment. Just do it. To those of you watching on LinkedIn, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. We're going to talk a little bit about politics today, just real quickly, and how it frustrates us. We're not going to talk about, no, my guy is better, my guy is better, no, my guy is better. That's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how it affects crypto and our livelihoods, because how you vote, as they say, voting has consequences, and this election is definitely one to say. It has consequences. Sorry, I'm just trying to monitor my LinkedIn feed here. Got to tell them the LinkedIn comments don't work as well. Because LinkedIn is a great website. It is a marvel of stuff. The amount of info people voluntarily put on there, and the amount of connections you make is really unbelievable. But they do some things really badly, like comments. Like they put the videos out and they want each comment to be like, a full LinkedIn post. And you're like, no, I just want to say, yo, bro. No, Pedro wants to say, yo, bro, not me. Crypto Mike, I can't do it no more. I did it all night long. All night long. Trouble since it's how much for private. How much you got? Hold on while I engage the LinkedIn crew here. Anyway, today's topic, if you saw the thing, left, crypto is evil, right? Moon boys! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that President Biden and his lackeys, otherwise known as Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler, have been making our lives quite difficult. And they've been trying as hard as they can to get rid of crypto in the United States and drive innovation and the value of the US dollar offshore. Welcome, Datengu. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the people from I think you're from the Mainnet Z crowd, if I recall, or at least your little icon there tells me. Anyway, so we've been talking about exactly, it's just good comments coming in all the time. All older than dirt and won't be around to see the consequences of their choices. Yeah, but another 4 years of this is a problem. Another 4 years of this is a problem. They might, even if Mr. Biden kicks it over tomorrow, and the Democrats replace him with somebody, if the policies are going to essentially be the same, they can't backtrack on everything. But one of the things that's really important, and for those of you not in the U.S., you might not understand it completely, but think about your local area where you live and vote. Most of where you live, everybody kind of votes the same every time. These guys vote right, these guys vote left, and there's like 2 or 3 places that kind of, it can go either way. In the U.S., it's like that. In the U.S., we have the states of Ohio, Arizona, Pennsylvania, for that matter, Michigan and Wisconsin, and to be frank, Florida too, that are called swing states. in which they have a mass of people that some are right, some are left, and it can go either way depending on like a very small amount of people that really are undecided. I mean, do you know anyone in the U.S. that's really undecided about the U.S. election? No. Nobody's like, well, I don't know which guy. I better evaluate him and watch the debates. Everybody knows who they're going to vote for. Unless they may say, well, I'm going to throw my vote to the third party, the independent candidate, just to try and get independent candidates more visibility. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that a lot of money is being thrown at these states because for the elections, because that's where the advertising needs to go. Where I live in Chicago, and then where I live also in Ottawa, both of those places see very few ads for elections. And the reason is because the people there they always vote the same way. In downtown Ottawa, it's always very liberal, so they don't need to advertise. You don't get any YouTube ads for it. You get opposing ads, but that's not a lot of them. In Chicago, you don't get any ads at all for the presidential election because it's guaranteed to be a Democrat win. So they don't waste their money there. But in the swing states, welcome back, Pedro. I'm just going on a little bit about swing states in the U.S. In these swing states, they spend enormous amounts of money on the topics, how people are going to vote. And the big data in the world, you can plug in anyone's name in the big data world, and they tell you your political leanings now. And so when you go meet a politician, they already know how you want to vote. But there's still that small amount of people, so they throw a lot of money at those undecided people. And one of the questions they asked them, just one of them, had to do with cryptocurrency. And is, do you feel that cryptocurrency and access to it is important for your candidate to support? And 20% of the undecided voters said yes. Yeah, and that's not like 20% of millions. That's 20% of like of undecided voters said yes, that's important. This election is going to be determined by 1 or 2% in each of these swing states, or maybe less, maybe a couple thousand votes. So 20% of those undecided saying, yeah, cryptocurrency is very important to me. They're not going to vote for Mr. Biden. That's for sure. They are going to vote for someone else. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to vote for Mr. Trump. They could vote for the American Nazi Party that's on their ballot. The Green Party, the Yellow Party, the Red Party, the Brown Party, you name it. In Illinois, there's something like 49 parties running for president. Yeah, it's not that difficult to get on the Illinois ballot. And so a lot of parties get on it, but they only put the top two in the big print at the top. And but in these other states, this is not a wedge issue like if people are fighting over it. This is a divisive issue, meaning that people are going to say, I'm not voting for Biden. And if 20% of the undecideds are just on that one issue, that leaves 80% left over. To overcome that 20%. Because if the cryptocurrency idea wasn't there, you can go into statistics all day, but there would be more voters for Mr. Biden. But there's not. There's a big chunk of them taken out where people are going to go, nope. And any vote for Robert Kennedy pretty much is a vote for Trump because it's something like 93% of Robert Kennedy supporters are actually Democrats. And so welcome, Alfie. And Shane. Crypto Alliance, thank you very much for joining us. As always, spread the word, good word about our show. I would appreciate it. And of course, we will do the same about yours. He's not gonna. He ain't gonna do it there, Pedro. Here. He's not. Here is his opportunity. Here is his opportunity to part with his party line. The House recently. Let me tell you, give you the background on this. There's all these news stories about regulation of crypto and regulation this and evil stable coins and evil crypto and all this kind of stuff. And those regulations are hard to pass, and they get a lot of bad news and this type of stuff. You know what's easy to pass? Small rule changes. Small rule changes in federal agencies. Because they don't need to go to Congress. They can just say, we're just going to tweak this a little. And what the SEC did is they said that any company that takes in crypto on behalf of a client has to keep it, not any company, any bank, any publicly traded bank, not private banks. Any publicly traded bank that takes in cryptocurrency from a client has to keep it on the bank's balance sheet. Remember, all we talk about is custody. Like the government doesn't want the banks, doesn't want companies to hold on to people's cryptocurrency or for your clients, because in case the bank goes bankrupt, like when FTX went bankrupt, they held all the stuff. The trick is to hold them in trust or hold them in a separate company, like a trust company, a custody company, like Caitlin Long's company, Custodia Bank. If you hold it separately in a company that's not taking any risks. Or doesn't have a depositor flight like SVG did and the other banks that crashed in crypto. But now what the SEC is saying, if you take a client's crypto, you can't hold it in custody for the bank. Not for exchanges and all this type of stuff, just for banks. You have to keep it on your own balance sheet. And the banks are like, whoa, that's too risky. We're banks. We can't have a volatile asset on our balance sheet. That's why we set up all these shell companies and/or custody issues. And so the banks are saying, nope, we're not going to hold clients' cryptocurrency at all. You're just not going to do it. And so if the banks can't hold the cryptocurrency, wait, hold on, let me finish. If the bank can't hold the cryptocurrency, they can't lend against it. They can't keep it as part of your assets. So as far as the bank is concerned, say you have $100,000 in cash in the bank, but $49 million in Bitcoin. As far as the bank is concerned, you only have $100,000, and you can't afford to buy that new Chevy because all you got's $100,000, and the new Chevy truck you want's $110,000. So they won't. No, you're right. If you have to liquidate your stuff, but that's not the point. The point is that the SEC is telling the banks you can't hold. Any cryptocurrency you have to hold on your own balance sheet. As if it's your own. This was his opportunity, Pedro, right here. And so the House passed a bill, right, just saying the SEC's rule is null and void, and the SEC doesn't have the authority to do that. The SEC can't do that. Doesn't matter. The law now says that banks have to hold it in custody and not on their own balance sheet. And Biden says, "Who cares? I'm gonna veto that." Because that's not a good deal. Here the Congress is saying we don't want the banks to hold a risky asset that's allowed to hold that off their balance sheet. Not crypto the banks own. If the banks own it, they buy it for trading purposes. They got to hold it on their balance sheet. But clients' money. So the Congress is now saying we want the people to be safe, and the SEC is saying we want banks to be risky now and hold the asset. And the president is signaling that he is going to veto the bill and side with the SEC again. This was his opportunity, Pedro. He blew it. He's going to lose. He's going to lose and we're going to be stuck with the orange man, which, well, like I said, that's neither here nor there who you support and all that. I'm just talking about crypto. And the orange man is going to be pro-crypto, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. He can even donate to his campaign in crypto. So the 20% swing voters, Pedro, in these swing states, they're looking at the two clients. Here, two candidates. They're like, which one I can't decide. One guy is old as dirt. The other guy is getting close to old as dirt. what's the difference between these guys? Well, this guy, I got a bunch of Stellar in my wallet, and I can just send it to this guy as a donation. All you do is fill out the form. My name is bloop, send, tune, done. This guy is like, oh my God, he thinks I'm a criminal. He wants to tax Bitcoin miners, 40%, and that he thinks everyone that does this is a criminal. Well, oh my God, I'm not a criminal. I'm just some schmo in Ohio. Okay, nope, he's out. Orange man's in. It's as simple as that. I don't get it. You think they would have to soften it? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching on LinkedIn, I'm getting feedback that says there's no video on LinkedIn, but you got audio. I'm monitoring the LinkedIn feed, and I have video of it. So all I can say is that maybe you've got to refresh the page or something like that. Andrew LaCroix, thanks for commenting that on LinkedIn.
Oh, that's interesting. But okay, so here's the thing, though, and I bring this up. They're not. I mean, they have. Okay, maybe they don't do it this time around, but then they do it next time around. That would be silly. Then all of a sudden you give Trump momentum to really, really change the economy. If he gets in, he's going to hit hard on tariffs. He's going to bring business back. He's going to tell Mexico, stop playing around. You need to start doing this. He's going to shift things around. Mr. Orange Man, he's already said what he's going to do. So I cannot see the Democratic Party just sitting there holding on staunch like little children saying this is going to be.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I think that's a good thing to bring up too, because it's really, really interesting. Just actually play that, because I think this is a good thing to bring up. He doesn't answer the question. He's saying he's protecting the U.S. government, or he's saying he protects the U.S. People, but a large portion, well, it's not a large portion, a portion that is a clear deciding factor.
Now,
it basically sways his job, because I don't see, if Orange Man gets in the office, that he's going to keep his position.
No.
I just don't see it. It ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's definitely, he's gonna be like, sorry, G, you gotta go.
Sorry, G, you gotta go.
You gotta go. Time, like, I don't know how you say, you fired. How do you say? You're fired.
You're fired. All right, I'm gonna try and play this here. Let's see if we can get the audio into the stream here.
When you look at the headlines today,
I'm hearing that a couple of times.
Is doing and what your priorities are.
You want me to play it on mine?
How much of your focus today is on the stock market writ large versus the world of crypto and trying to figure out the future of Ethereum and other things? How do you see it?
Yeah, we're getting a...
I see it this way. We oversee a $110 trillion capital market. About half of that's the stock market. Half, as you might know, is the bond markets and other
I'm
markets.
getting a...
Crypto is a small piece.
I think you're playing it on two different planes.
But it's an outsized piece of the scams and frauds.
Pedro, I think only you're hearing it twice. I'm feeding it to you twice.
Any one token.
Okay, gotcha.
Much of this field is non-compliant with the protections of our securities laws. And so thus, you end up with like an outsized ratio of journalist questions and crypto journalists to market cap.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think you didn't get any echoes on that. Maybe at the beginning you did. But, sorry, Gary got taken to task, and he doesn't like it taken to task. And every time he does, he creates more problems for everybody. Mrs. Striking just brought me a coffee. Isn't that nice? But anyway, the issue is that all the news that comes out of the SEC, I mean, they have 1,000 employees, and all we hear about is cryptocurrency, right? And he's on every time he's on TV, he's talking about cryptocurrency, right? Right. But I won't say in his defense. Well, I will say in his defense. In his defense, most of the stock market fraud cases never even make the news. It's some, crappy little fake IPO company in Kansas. It's technical fines against banks and other things like that, or people that didn't report something. They just don't make the news. It just doesn't make the news. But anything in cryptocurrency at all makes big news because it's setting big policy for the future. It's not just little enforcement actions. If you go through and look through all the SEC cases, there are actually a number of SEC cases against crypto companies that are like, ooh, that's bad. They just stole everyone's money. Just Ponzi schemes, all this type of stuff. And sorry about that. My gain is down all the way. And so you don't hear about those very much. But you do hear on any of these decisions that could set policy, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, and Gensler spends too much time talking about it. Not just my opinion or Pedro's opinion, but enough people's opinion that on Squawk Box they had to interview him and bring it up and have Gary backtrack on all that type of stuff. But Pedro, what else did you take from that conversation?
So I saw. So there's, I don't know if you saw like the kind of the whole thing, but the short of it is, he straight says in the actual interview, right? Like he goes, "What are your thoughts on crypto?" And he goes, "Why are you so against it?" He goes, "The only reason why I'm against it, or the only reason why I'm talking about it, is because you asked me questions about it." And he really, and this is part from me, kind of just threw me off more than anything, is he didn't answer any questions. Right? He straight says in the actual interview, right? Like, he goes, "What are your thoughts on crypto?" And he goes, "Why are you so against it?" And with that, I'm sorry. So he goes through and he asks him the questions regarding crypto. He asks him questions regarding how you talk about it and what you're trying to do. And he goes, first of all, I'm protecting the 300 plus million people in America because a lot of these cryptos aren't following and disclosing correctly, right? That we would request, and that we request traditional finance people. And then he goes, and the reality is a lot of Americans are being scammed. And then again, he presses hard on Gensler and says, "Listen, I want to know really what you're trying to accomplish here, because you're stifling innovation," is really what he said. And again, he stems right back to I'm protecting, and he goes, and the only reason why we're talking about this, because crypto is a very small part of the finance market, or in the finance industry. And he goes, we're talking to $170 trillion market system flowing back and forth, and that's all you want to talk about. And this is what Gensler says to him, and the guy goes, "Yeah, answered the question." And so he repeats the question again in a different way, and he goes, "I am protecting the U.S. people from fraudsters in crypto." And I literally thought to myself, this man should be a politician, because his ability to just weave and weave and dodge, bro, and throw a blow, I was like, man, that is really good. So there's a reason why he is where he's at. And I think, and I mean, dude, we literally just saw Trump simply say, look, if you're I'm for crypto, I'm cool with crypto. If you vote for me, because I'll make sure crypto happens. So it's like, and he's looking, I mean, unless they really keep him from getting on the ballots, Orange Man is getting in. And I don't see Democrats just going belly up. I don't see them doing it. I can't see them. I think they're a pit bull just as much as the Grand Old Party.
Oh, yeah, they're both scum of the earth. They're both master tacticians with 200 years of on-the-job training. No, I'm not saying one's not or another. Pedro, I cannot figure out why Biden hasn't rolled over on the issue.
Yes.
I cannot figure it out.
I mean, unless they're literally being bought and really pushed by Swift. So only thing that I can think about it is Swift sits there and goes, Swift, but even BlackRock is like, you know what? We're in this party too. I mean, it's like they're sitting there building on it, and it's just it's weird to sit there and see them like I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like a little kid. You give him a bunch of candy and goes, "Hey, if you eat your broccoli first, then you get to have your candy and everything." And he's like, "I'm not eating my broccoli." That's what it seems like to me. And like you said, like, it just they're going to have to switch their policies on crypto. There's too many people in America and around the world. I mean, Europe, dude, is 3-4 years ahead of America in relationship to crypto, the policies that are being established, the taxation that are being established, and the whole entire new industry. Yet, I mean, we're talking Europe, we're talking Africa, Australia. I mean, almost every single continent, South America. Yet us,
Right.
we're behind everyone, and yet at least I would say maybe 2-3% of America owns at least some type of crypto. I think it's like more than I think it's like.
Oh, it's a massive amount. Here's the example is that when the government, the Attorney General in California sued Coinbase for illegal staking, not declaring it as a security. Coinbase revealed that they had 10 million accounts in California. That not just 10 million accounts. 10 million accounts that were staked.
Yep.
I mean, California is only 30 million people. Now, California is the home of offshore banking for Asia. I mean, let's not think that 10 million, like one of every 2 adults in California had a staking account at Coinbase. It's impossible. Even at full adoption, you know, that's not possible.
Maybe I mean,
literally every adult family would have to have a Coinbase account, not just with holdings, but to know enough to stake. But that means Asia has a massive influence on that. But regardless, that's how many accounts there are. It's a big. Oh God, Shane's giving us the D's nuts. DVZ D's nuts. I don't know why my background is still like this. I gotta take a second to fix that.
I have Orange Man on my thing because I want to bring this up because I think this is really interesting. Because look, I'm not pro-Trump, but you know what? I just might be pro-Trump if he's 100% for crypto. In all honesty, because the freedom that crypto brings and allows you to be able to stay away from the system, from a CBDC system, is one of those things that I think is super important, right? Like, I want to have an ability to be able to step away from a system.
I love your attention span, my friend.
No, it's I got like 15 million things popping up on my thing because this guy's actually. Anyways, the reason I'm saying this is because of this. The amount of money all depends on the system in which stays intact. And if you can have a counter system apart from, let's say, traditional systems,
right?
It's good to have, like, as in finance, what do people always preach? Diversification. Diversification is always the biggest thing that people preach. And all reality is that we can sit there, and that's what I want. That I want to be able to play both ends, and in case one falls apart, which it may not, I don't know. But I don't want to be an idiot and sit there and just like and not acknowledge it. And this is, and I always listen to things at like fast speeds because most people talk slow. So, but I'm gonna play this guy. Listen, here it is. Do you hear it?
No, we don't hear you.
Hear it? Oh man, why isn't? I thought I was gonna see it.
I know. Trust me, that's all I do is deal with it.
Well, basically says the Biden administration is against crypto. We're not against crypto. Like, if you're for crypto, vote for me. And I sat there and I was like, deal. And the fact is that you literally have, like you said, why am I forgetting his name? Biden's opponent. You vote for him. Why am I forgetting his name, bro? Kennedy.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah. Junior over there. Like, it's his butt. You know, it's like, yo, he's for crypto. You vote for him. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I gotta tell you, sorry to interrupt you. These reward token guys, they're on top of it. They're master shillers, and they can blend it into any sentence. Badrich says, crypto adoption looking hard for USA. They should sell California and buy reward token.
Reward token, the next 1000x. I hope so, man. We have a little bit of them too, right?
No, we have World of Reward token, which I just put up here.
Yep.
One of our sponsors. In fact, I just dropped a video. For World, let me just do a quick sponsor thing. We do have a hard stop just at 1 o'clock here, Pedro. Just so you know. So maybe. Here,
Sell us Alaska.
right.
Canada.
Let's see. I just dropped this video here about World of Reward token. It's on our page here. Talks all about the project and how to use it, how to earn rewards and all that. Go watch the video and then head over to World of Rewards tokens TG and talk to the team about getting your project on their DApp or participating it from the client side there. Go over there, see Bruno or anyone on the team, tell him Striking sent you.
Good old Striking. Good old Striking. Dude, you want to know the biggest deal ever in the world next to, I don't know, getting free stuff?
I like free stuff.
How much we bought Alaska for.
No.
Like how much America bought Alaska for. Next to, what was it, when Napoleon or Bonaparte goes through and sells Louisiana, the Louisiana deal to America too. Like that was another crazy,
like the Louisiana Purchase is the equivalent of about $500 million. You know, about half the country. In Alaska too. In fact, the deal for Alaska was so good that even today, Putin is now saying, "Oh, it was invalid. We got tricked." And he talks about, the speeches he gives in the country are different than the information they release outside the country. They're much more nationalistic and And he literally said, that wasn't a good deal for Russia. The Americans tricked us, so we deserve it back. And the Russians have built 17 deep water ports up there. 17 deep water ports that can accommodate their navy. And our friends in Canada have zero, none. We have a couple in northern Alaska, but they're geared towards 2 or 3 certain types of transportation ships. And there's no access there except by plane or boat. There's no road to these places. Meanwhile, the Russians have an electrified rail line that goes all the way up there. We can't even put an electrified rail line down our street without people going, ah! The Russians put one across their whole country and up and down into the cold. Electric's fine.
That's interesting, bro.
Sometimes it just takes a boss to say, do it. Anyway, Pedro, like I said, we gotta go earlier today. We've talked about the topic of not. Let's talk about Bitcoin here and let's let everyone know what's going on in the market.
All right, here we go. So again, like I said, on Monday, Sunday we went up a little bit, came back, tapped this 50-period moving average. We sold off throughout the week, came down testing our demand area here. Now these yellow lines, remember, is really the consolidation period. You can see here's the range from the top to the bottom here. So right now we're just kind of basing in between here, but really if we sell off, which I'm expecting here with this, I'm expecting a retest of that 8-period moving average and then coming back down and now continuing lower and then seeing how far we're going to test into these lows. Like I said, I am expecting a ping pong effect on the weekly chart. So this is what I'm looking for. We came up, tapped that 8-period moving average, and now we're selling off. We're midway through the week, coming into the end of the weekend from Friday, Saturday.
How low does that wick go down there on to the most current period?
This comes down to 56,000 right here, the lows here.
And that
was 56.
When was that?
That was last week.
Which chart you got up there? Oh, you got the weekly chart. I thought you had the daily chart. And I was like, oh, Jesus. It went down to 56,000 yesterday?
No. This is the weekly chart. So I like to look, as you all know, I like to look at higher time frames because higher time frames speak what the institutions are doing, and so
Right.
that's why I like looking at it. Again, most likely we're going to see bounces off of weekly and monthly SMA movements, right? So that's what you're looking to see, so you can gauge which direction, and these hold stronger. So that's why I like looking at them. Now, as a daily movement of Bitcoin here, I'm expecting it to see, we had 4 days, or we had 3 days straight down. Right now we're coming back up, test. So we're testing this 8 period. Again, I'm expecting to see a sell-off down into these lower levels, and where we will test the 20 period moving average here. And so it's really important. I want to see it really kind of push into it and see what it's going to do below these below the 20. If I start to see a lot of volume coming underneath that, where I start to see buyers, then that means there's support there. If I don't see a lot of buyers step in at that level and we start to see a basis kind of go sideways,
Welcome, Tim Fountain. Tim Fountain in the house.
Go down even further. So we'll see what happens. But like I said at the beginning of the week, expect this more of a sideways week. Simply we're in between, so we kind of went up and we're kind of coming down. So we're kind of in this little range right here, and we've been here for about 3 weeks, as you can see, from here to here. So there's not much we're going to be able to do until we get through this. I always expect news, like during this type of stuff. I always expect some type of real news that comes in and kind of has to move the market. So like I said,
that video's still playing. I'll say the only real news is that knucklehead Gensler. It's so hard to keep my real emotions at bay here. It's hard. It's hard being the guy on the show here with a voice. I mean, I know, Pedro, you can talk too and get animated too, but
yes. But here's the best part behind all of this, is that the man, I think, will sing a different tune, because if he's saying he's protecting the U.S. and he's saying because crypto is not disclosing income coming in, and how you saying, well, I think that is a valid concern. So if he does, as we keep moving forward and businesses start to tokenize, there will be some form of like, look, what is your business doing? How much money are you making? Are you really doing what you say you're going to do? And I think that part behind it, I agree with. But when you're sitting there stifling innovation in conjunction with that, that's where it's like, you're talking out one part of your mouth and doing another. So this is where I think, as we continue moving forward, if he puts in real laws, that puts in a structure that allows us to do what we need to do, then okay. So I think we'll see what happens there. I mean, if Orange Man is for crypto and he wants to, he's gonna get the votes, just straight up. He will get those swing state votes. But I don't think Gensler and I don't think Biden are going to just give up that easy. I just don't. I mean, they both like their job, and they realize like that's an important part.
Like I said, I don't know. You know what? Wow, we got Chuck Jensen just showed up here.
What up, Chuck?
Yeah, you got ADA up. You got them handy.
Yeah, I can pull up ADA.
Let's make one of our regulars happy here.
Yeah. So
talk about before you talk about it. Talk about getting FUD out there. There's all sorts of news out here. Now I'm trying to put it together. It's a big anti-campaign against other chains by Solana or somebody like that. But the FUD about Cardano has started up again. As we know, we see it all the time in the news, and all of a sudden it's like they're not good and they blah 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 wah 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 wah. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Very strange. But anyway, where's their price, Pedro?
So they're actually kind of going sideways, and among all this FUD, you are seeing a lot of seller wigs coming in. As you can see right here in the last week, right here since Sunday or Saturday, I'm seeing a big of some sell-off going on. Not a huge sell-off, but you are seeing, and I'm not seeing a lot of buying. So the reality is if this thing does start to drop and we start to see it get going, which I do expect because we are below some moving averages. I would expect it to see it come back down to this 39-cent area. You can see we've been bouncing off that 50-period moving average, which is that gray line here. We're seeing a bounce up. So this area here is one of those things that we need to be mindful of, right, as we're coming down. And so this green line was an area of support for me. It was a major area of support where we came back, pushed up, came back down, and saw this huge explosion. So I knew once we came back into this area, this is going to hold some support.
Sorta.
Yeah, well, some support. But you can see where now it's starting to be resistance here. So I'm expecting to see this thing potentially come back down to these 34, 29, or 23 area. This area,
Chuck sold it out. He sold it out. Let me guess. You sold it out for something else that went down.
Not necessarily, man. Listen, I told you guys. I did bring up the fact is that I do expect to see this thing come down into these lower levels. I was hoping when we had this rally here up into these.
Welcome, DYOR baby. Thanks for joining us even late.
Up to these 90 area, but once we started seeing this thing put in lower highs, right, and these lower lows, then I said, it probably is going to come back down to these lower areas here. So if we do see a sell-off here, expected. You could get another good rebound at that 34-cent area, and more importantly, that 23 area is really where I'm looking at. That 23-cent area, which would be a 50% sell-off. But again, this is one of those areas that, as Cardano, and this is, I think you bring up a good point when you said this, and I know we got a hard stop here, but these are antiquated systems. There are a lot more better systems out there than Cardano and a couple other stuff. So I think it's interesting to see what we're seeing with that. And I don't know, would they call them was it mummy?
Mummy?
No, dead. They call them dead blockchains.
Oh, zombies.
Zombie blockchains. Yeah. Zombie blockchains, because it was like they're just old and there's a lot of other stuff. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here as we continue. Are they going to revise things? Or are they going to change up things? I don't know. We'll see. It might just be smart to kind of hold on to cash and do what good old Warren Buffett is doing.
Yeah, thank you to the DeFi Dojo people that popped over today. Appreciate it. Reminded me to put your banner up there. They said that they have been slow. JBee over there said they've been a little bit slow, and with the cryptocurrency market kind of swooning just a little bit, all the AMA people get slow. As soon as it turns into bull run, they get busy. But anyway, Pedro, we got to get going here. We got a hard stop today. A short show today. Once again, it started with a little fun fireworks. Mic on. The show was set to private. Anyway, we ended up with a good crowd though today, even though it's a short day. It's approaching about 60 people on the 4 different platforms. I got a good crowd on LinkedIn today. We had continuously a bunch of people watching over there. Thank you very much to everyone on LinkedIn that joins us. I try to keep the more serious talks on LinkedIn, and just when we have straight out shilling and meme coin days, I usually don't post that on LinkedIn because I get hate from it. That's not for LinkedIn. That's not a real business. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But anyway, it's good, and we were broadcasting on Twitter today again too, or X, and I'm trying to keep doing that because Elon is, he improves things. He does a good job doing that. You're hearing the music, ladies and gentlemen. That can only mean it's the end of the show. I'm off to Vancouver. Driving to Toronto later today. Pedro, if you want to do a Twitter Spaces tomorrow, or a X Spaces.
Yep.
I'm probably blasting this music in your ear. You probably can't hear it.
It's all right. I can hear you. It's very, very loud. It's all good. I've become very agile and learning how to handle this.
Wrong button there. Anyway, so we might have a X Spaces for you for a full rant Friday tomorrow, if we can get our act together here. But I would as always, I love to do that.
It'll be fun.
Oops, that was the wrong. Oh, for Christ's sakes.
Thanks for
Wrong
coming in.
button.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming in. And I just want to say thank you for you guys who do hit us up, who do shill us. It does help a lot. We are growing, slowly but growing. What's up, Toast? Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you, bro. We're actually finishing things up here, so but you're more than welcome to come tomorrow. We're gonna be doing full ramp.
Spread
Friday.
D's nuts on toast.
Nuts on toast.
All right, you gotta give the D's nuts crowd a
Bro.
safe travels from Pepsi. Thanks, it's Kansas in you.
Good to see you, brother.
Darrow says ciao for now. Bad hustlers, of course, still shilling. Bad, still, they just keep at it. Chuck says, my one good move of the year, selling the Cardano. That's right, he sold it at 77. Bought BNB at 400. There was a good trade. That was a good trade there, my friend. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thanks for stopping by here today. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital universe. So glad to be with you another day on behalf of myself and my co-host, Pedro Garcia. Have a great day.